Gotta say, having plowed this first, this went so much better than last year. There are still some rocks in here. We did pick some out as we plowed, but we didn't get them all. So the tiller on the tractor did hit a few, but this is much looser, much fluffier, and should make for a much better bed for planting potatoes. So we're gonna go get the Troy-Bilt, put in some furrows, and plant some potatoes. We've got the Troy-Bilt horse rototiller set up with the furrower attachment all ready to go. I've got the depth set at full depth. What I'm going to do is take this first row and just do as straight a shot as I can, and then we'll actually measure 3-foot offset for a second row coming back down, and then we'll see how far we get with respect to the potatoes. It's not perfectly straight, but it's pretty darn good. And it went pretty smoothly. We've got a nice furrow in here. So now what we're gonna do is just measure 3 foot over. I'm gonna put in a couple of guideposts 3 foot over so that I can create a line for tilling, because we want that spacing to be right so that we can run the machine down with the hiller later when it comes time to hill the potatoes. So we'll set some posts and then we'll till a second line here with a second furrow. This year we got 20 pounds of Kennebec seed potatoes. I cut these already. That was shown at the beginning of this video. So you always want them cut so that there's just a couple eyes on each piece, and that way you can plant the pieces separately in the row about 12 inches apart. So these are Kennebecs, which are a local variety. In the past I've done Yukon Golds. Yukon Golds have been more resistant to the potato leafhopper, which has been an issue in recent years. However, they're susceptible to hollow heart, particularly with uneven moisture conditions, which is where the center of the potato basically has a hollow spot or a spot of rot in the middle. So then you end up cutting around it to use the potato. So we're going to try Kennebecs this year and see what happens. So are you boys ready to plant these potatoes? Yeah, all right. Let's take the box over to our furrows and get started. Okay, let's start with this first row right here. Let's go ahead and just put the potatoes in a little bit farther down. There you go. That's good. We want them about a foot apart, okay? So about that same spacing. Can you do that? Wait, bring it back here, buddy. You see that one? A little closer to this other one.
What one?
Right here. See? There, great, that's where we want it. All right, back here. You want to do the same spacing, okay? All right, that's still a little far. Can you move it back this way?
This one is bigger.
Right there. Great job.
Look at my put this one.
Right down there, see? Right next to that last one.
What one?
Right there.
What?
Right there by your feet. Do you see it?
Right here?
Now move it over a little.
Only inside of...
A little bit more. Can you move it over a little more? Good. Well, that 20 pounds did about a row and a half. I think that's a little less than we had last year with the Yukon Golds, but if we get a little better yield, it should be enough. I hope it's enough. If not, it'll be a learning experience for how much we need. We'll take the rest of this space over here. I've got some corn, we've got some pumpkins, so we'll put some of that out here. We'll also put some pumpkins back closer to the other garden. Today's planting went really well. We got 20 pounds of seed potatoes in the ground, and then we put in 3 short rows of corn. They're short rows because corn is wind pollinated, so you need the rows to be side by side so that it can pollinate itself, as opposed to being in a single long row, which doesn't work so well for that. And then those fence posts are marking mounds where we've got pumpkin seeds, and there are 3 posts there, but really we've got about 8 mounds with some pumpkin seeds in them down that side. So we planted a bunch out here. Hopefully everything grows and does well. Things that are out here are harder to maintain with respect to water and all of that, because access to that's back at the house, and we're quite a ways away from there, which is why it's nice we've got our no-dig garden up close to the house. We'll put some pumpkins up there as well in some of the leftover loam, and we'll see how they do compared to the pumpkins out here. We also have some corn in our no-dig garden. We'll be able to see how that does compared to the corn that's out here. So it'll be interesting to see how everything develops this season.